When an owner of cryptocurrency dies unexpectedly, there are several things that happen from a tax implication. You need to be aware of these things when it comes to crypto ownership. There is a lifetime gift inheritance exclusion amount. This is an amount that during your lifetime, but for most people, when they die, there's a limit on how much they can give, in a sense, through probate without incurring taxes on their estate. The most recent Genius Act passed by the House here in the summer of 2025 increased that limit to $15 million per person. So that's a pretty big amount. So what'll happen is if during your lifetime you gave lots higher dollar amount gifts, and during your death you end up giving in excess of that 15 million, then that additional money is taxed at the death tax rate, which is 40%. That's pretty big. So this is an important thing to manage. So you might want to say that instead of all the crypto assets are in, say, the husband's control, you might want to paint some of those as being in the spouse's control. Assets shifted that have joint ownership, like a house, where it might be co-owned by the husband and the wife, those do not go through the probate process, and they're not considered for the gift tax debate because you're basically a co-owner. And the same thing can be done with cryptocurrency if you have it, in a sense, co-owned an account. So very important tax planning strategy. Now, I should say this whole thing about the total amount, it used to be like $5 million, that lifetime limit. In 2017, the Trump tax bill increased it up to 12 million. Now it's going to be 15 million. In the meantime, during the Biden administration, there was an attempt to lower it down to 3.5 million. So the Democrats, I guess, would have to say that they are labeled with the party that wants to eliminate this tax. Passing on inheritance to your children is something is a right. That's a privilege of being an adult. And the government, I think, has no business seizing your assets. 40%, that's a massive gouge. And when you have a tax at 40%, what you're really doing is you're penalizing the less fortunate people, because the wealthy people can get tax advisors who can set up complex strategies which avoid probate. And it's the less sophisticated investor who, when he dies, doesn't take advantage of these things and gets to be robbed by the IRS and probably by a state government as well. So it's just wrong, in my opinion, for the government to seize 40% of your assets at that point. One other factor when some crypto investor dies is a thing called step-up basis. What is this? Your cost basis is what you buy an asset for, and if you hold it for a long time, hopefully that asset's become worth a great deal. If the owner of that sells it, then he has to pay capital gains on that entire gain. But if he dies while he still owns it, and that asset is transferred to someone in his will, then he benefits from step-up basis. Step-up basis says that the cost basis of that asset is now changed. It's no longer what the deceased person bought it at, but it's now the cost basis is the value asset had when it was transferred to the new owner. So you are able to have a step up. That basis is completely untaxed. So that's a major tax incentive. And shouldn't there be tax incentives when there's death? The absence of this sort of tax is causing great hardship in the US. Farmers, a son would receive his farm from the father, but now that transferal is considered tax. The son now has to pay a 40% tax on a portion of it, the amount over 15 million. And that can completely wipe him out. He has to sell the farm just to be able to pay the taxes on the farm that he got. That's wrong. And as a result, the corporate interests are buying up farms all over the United States. Fortunately, I believe in the Genius Act, that particular scenario has been fixed. You need to have this step-up basis. You cannot have it penalized by the government. During the Biden administration, they tried to take away step-up basis. This is just a bald-faced attempt to increase taxes on the wealthy, and it's wrong. What do you think? Please like, subscribe, and follow. It helps us get this important information out to other people.